The petrodollar system, a complex web connecting the American dollar to the world's most vital resource, oil.
No army on earth is stronger than this piece of paper. Not tanks, not missiles, not even the largest armies. A currency that controls oil, dictates trade, influences nations, and silently shapes wars. This is the story of the petrodollar, America's invisible weapon. It is a weapon that doesn't fire bullets, yet it can topple governments, create alliances, and stabilize economies. Today, you will see how a single currency became the backbone of global power. Most people assume wars are fought over land, ideology, or ideology alone. But in the modern era, the true battles are often fought over money, and no single financial system has been more powerful than the dollar tied to oil. Consider this. Nearly every major conflict in the last 50 years had a financial dimension. Nations fight not only to protect resources, but to protect the global dominance of currency itself. The petrodollar is at the center of that hidden battlefield. The story begins in the early 1970s. The United States, once the undisputed economic superpower, faced rising inflation, increasing government debt, and the collapse of the gold standard. The dollar's value was under threat like never before. At the same time, the Middle East controlled a staggering share of the world's oil, the very fuel that powers industrialized nations. Oil prices were skyrocketing, and the global economy was vulnerable. The stage was set for a revolutionary financial strategy. In 1973, after the oil embargo sent shockwaves across the globe, the United States negotiated a groundbreaking agreement with Saudi Arabia. The Saudis agreed to price all their oil exports exclusively in U.S. dollars. In return, they would invest their massive oil profits into American government debt and receive military protection. This was more than a deal. It was a financial masterstroke. By linking oil to the dollar, the U.S. ensured that every country needing oil, Europe, Japan, China, would be forced to hold dollars. Suddenly, the dollar was no longer just a currency. It became the lifeblood of global trade and the backbone of American power. How does it work? Every barrel of oil sold internationally is priced in U.S. dollars. Countries importing oil must maintain large dollar reserves to pay for their energy needs. These dollars, instead of lying dormant, are funneled back into U.S. debt markets. Governments, corporations, and banks all recycle this capital into American infrastructure, military, and development. In short, the petrodollar allows the United States to finance massive domestic spending without destabilizing the currency. Every oil transaction strengthens the dollar, funds the economy, and reinforces America's global dominance. The petrodollar isn't just an economic tool, it's a strategic weapon. Countries that attempt to price oil in any currency other than the dollar face severe repercussions. Iraq, under Saddam Hussein, tried to sell oil in euros instead of dollars and faced a catastrophic military invasion. Libya's Gaddafi proposed a gold-backed African currency and met a violent end. Even today, nations attempting to reduce their reliance on the dollar experience sanctions, economic pressure, and international isolation. The message is clear. The petrodollar is power, invisible yet absolute. The beauty of the petrodollar system lies in its subtlety. It funds military operations without appearing as a military action. It creates alliances, influences foreign policy, and enforces economic dominance, all through the flow of currency. Every dollar spent on defense, diplomacy, or aid is strengthened by oil revenues recycled back to the United States. While tanks and missiles enforce military power, the petrodollar enforces financial power, often silently, almost invisibly. Critics argue that the petrodollar creates global dependency on American policy. Nations are forced to conform or risk economic collapse. In recent years, Russia and China have quietly sought to escape this dependency, creating trade agreements in alternative currencies and developing their own oil trading systems. The world's financial landscape is shifting, and the dominance of the dollar is being challenged. While the system has lasted nearly 50 years, it is not immune to change. Today, the petrodollar continues to shape global strategy. Conflicts in the Middle East, oil price fluctuations, sanctions on nations like Iran and Venezuela all connect back to the dollar. This invisible currency dictates the actions of governments and corporations alike. Understanding the petrodollar is key to understanding modern geopolitics. It is the silent force behind wars, alliances, and economic crises. While governments maneuver, ordinary people feel the consequences. Rising gas prices, inflation, and economic uncertainty are the everyday realities shaped by the petrodollar. Most never realize that a currency, seemingly abstract, is affecting every aspect of life, from the price of groceries to international trade. It is a reminder that financial systems can be as powerful as armies, and often more enduring. The petrodollar demonstrates how money can be weaponized. It is a force that shapes economies, governments, and conflicts without a single shot fired. It teaches us that power in the modern world is not only measured in tanks or troops, but in currencies, debt, and global finance. To understand the invisible mechanisms that shape history, one must understand the currency behind the decisions, the petrodollar. The petrodollar is America's invisible weapon, silent, powerful, and global. It influences nations, finances wars, and touches lives everywhere. Understanding it is key to understanding the modern world. Stay curious, stay informed, and uncover the hidden forces that shape our reality. Subscribe to Warfare and Wealth for more stories where money meets power, and discover the invisible battles that shape our world.